a second. Hey guys, what's up? I'm Romy and welcome back to my channel. There are many different ways to heal and care for piercings. In this video, we're gonna see sea salt soaks as one of the best aftercare methods. Also, I'm gonna give you guys a recipe to make your own, this way you don't have to waste money. We're also gonna see the use of soap for your piercings when you want to clean it. And lastly, we're gonna look at alternative methods of healing. So make sure to stay tuned until the end to get the most out of this video. So for a really long time, when piercing just became a thing, there was very little research about what was the best way to heal a piercing safely. What piercers would usually recommend was using alcohol on your piercing twice a day. They would also recommend other antiseptic products such as betadine, hydrogen peroxide, dial soap, and ointments such as A&D ointment. All of these products have actually been proven to be detrimental to the healing of a piercing. Alcohol and hydrogen peroxides are products that are way too harsh for your piercings. Even though they might disinfect it, they don't really clean it, and they also destroy the cells around your piercing and they dry it a lot. You also shouldn't use products such as Bactine and ear piercing solutions because similar to alcohol and hydrogen peroxide, it may disinfect but it does not actually clean the wound and it can cause dry skin. Ointments such as A&D ointment can occlude the wound, and so it's harder for the oxygen to reach that wound and heal it. So any products that are petroleum based are not good for healing your piercings. For example, petroleum jelly like Vaseline, you should definitely not use it on your piercing. Products like liquid soap, those are really bad for your piercings, as well as betadine. If you have a mouth piercing, mouthwash that contain alcohol such as Listerine should also not be used, for the simple reason that alcohol is way too harsh for piercings in general. So these were actually the methods that were used in the past, but it has been proven now that it's ineffective. Keep in mind that everyone's body is different. What may have worked for you before or what may have worked for your friend might not work for you in the present. So if in the past you've used alcohol and it was perfectly fine for your piercing, it doesn't mean that it will work for another piercing, and it doesn't mean that it's gonna work for someone else. So yeah, everyone's body is different and every place on your body is different as well. Some piercings will just never heal just because your body does not like it, and this happens and it sucks. But what you can do is make sure that you do everything in your power to heal that piercing correctly. Use the recommended methods of healing, methods that are gentle and work for piercing specifically. So one of the most recommended ways nowadays, and it's actually one of the easiest and you can do it at home, and it's so cheap guys, it's basically a sea salt soak. Soak your piercings for 5 to 10 minutes with sea salt water or saline water. Saline water can actually be purchased at the pharmacy, but it's usually a bit more expensive. This is why I'm recommending that you guys do it at home. The only thing that you have to buy is sea salt. Do not use iodized salt or table salt. Do not use that because it contains additives that are not good for your piercing, so you should use really pure sea salt. What sea salt does actually is that it irrigates the wounds and cleanses it, which allows cells to rejuvenate. It really keeps your cells well hydrated while cleaning the wound, so it's very gentle on your piercing, and this is what you want. So overall, this actually reduces the crusting around your piercing, because when there is too much crusting and there's a bit of dirt that accumulates, this is what leads to keloids or bumps around your piercing. Once it's there, it takes a long time to disappear. I'm actually gonna make a video about it in the future, but overall, if you do the sea salt soaks well, and if you do it long enough, so you have to do it for 5 to 10 minutes, then you can really prevent having keloids and infections. So the super easy recipe for this is only 1/4 of a teaspoon, not tablespoon, teaspoon of salt and 1 cup of warm water. It's definitely better to use warm because it opens up the pores of your skin and it melts kind of the crust around the piercing, making it easier to clean and to like irrigate and do all that good thing that salt does to your skin. So generally you have to do it twice a day during the healing process, but then you can slow it down a little. For example, you would only do it once a day after a few weeks. Depending on where your piercing is and what the healing period is, ask your piercer for more details about this, but eventually you go from twice a day to once a day, and then you can just stop using aftercare in general. But if there is a bit of trauma and it starts bleeding, if there's some kind of flare-up around your piercing, then I would suggest going back to cleaning it twice a day. It's also very important, you should always do the sea salt soak before going into the shower. When you go into the shower, this is when you're gonna rinse the piercing. If you don't shower, like if you clean it in the morning and you're not showering in the morning, then every time you do the sea salt, make sure to rinse it, because you don't want to have leftover salt around your wound, and you actually don't need to rotate the piercing. I know that it's a very common myth that we need to rotate the piercings so that the product goes well into your wound, but if you don't do it well, or if you do it when the crust is not like soft yet, it can cause unnecessary trauma to your piercing, and it's just not really necessary. The only times you should rotate your piercing is if there is excess dirt or you put like soap on your piercings and you need to like wash that out, then you can rotate your piercing. But otherwise, if your piercing looks fine, you don't really need to touch it more than just when you clean it with the sea salt soak. You can also do an extra soak whenever you're gonna do physical activities. There's a lot of dirt that can get into your piercing, so the sea salt soaks are to prevent infections and bumps, but it's also important to clean your piercing. So whenever you're in the shower, this is when you can use soap on your piercing. So do not use soap other than antibacterial or pH neutral soap, very mild soaps. These are soaps that you can also use for healing your tattoos, but if you use conventional soaps that has like fragrances, perfume or other chemicals in it, this is when it's detrimental to your piercing or tattoos in general if you have tattoos. But yeah, use a pH neutral soap. For example, you can use castile soap, and you can also use antibacterial soap, which you can find at the pharmacy, but it's usually a little bit more expensive. If you live in a warm environment, it's always good to do a second cleaning during the day, or at least just rinse the area if you've been sweating a lot and stuff. Overall, sea salt soaks, they are amazing. It is a bit annoying sometimes, especially it can really be awkward on some areas of your body. For example, your ear, when you put like you basically put the sea salt solution in a cup and you put your cup on your ears or anywhere on your body. It's really annoying. I honestly hate it, especially if you have to stay like that for 5 to 10 minutes, but it works. It really works if you do it well, if you do it twice a day, if you do it for at least 5 minutes, and if you do the good ratio of salt and water, then it really works, and I swear it will prevent any keloids from forming. I had a keloid on my nose, and it's because I didn't do the sea salt soak for 5 minutes. I did it for like 1 or 2 minutes, but obviously everybody's body is different. I'm not saying that if you do it you won't have a bump, or if you don't do it you will have a bump. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just telling you guys my experience and the recommended method from most piercers nowadays. But obviously not everyone uses the same method, and the sea salt solution, even though it globally works and it's proven to be a really good method for healing your piercings, some people don't use that and they want to use other methods which work for them. So now I'm gonna go into some alternative methods of healing. As I've mentioned before, castile soap can also be used for healing your piercing. Use it twice a day. Make sure to use the right diluted recipe. Studies have shown that castile soap really reduces the risk of infections for wounds. Another solution is to use natural oil. So for example, almond oil, jojoba and olive oil. You can just dab a little bit around the pierced area a few times a day, and it keeps the area moisturized, and it also reduces the crust. And another method is to use herbal remedies. For example, an infusion using lavender, chamomile or comfrey. These can really speed up the healing, as if you were gonna make a tea. Instead of drinking it, you can just put it on your piercing. And lastly, another method that's been used is to basically not do anything to your piercing. You just do basically what you do for your hygiene normally, and you don't really add any products to your piercing. But in order for that to work, it's obviously really important to have a good hygiene to start with and to have good overall health habits. Even though you don't use anything to disinfect and clean your piercing, the area itself is still clean. It's definitely not recommended for those who work in a dirty environment. Overall, there are many different ways to heal your piercing. So I've talked about sea salt soaks, I've talked about alternative methods of healing. There's not one that's actually better than the other, although most people do recommend sea salt soaks as a general way to heal your piercing. Nowadays it's definitely the most common, but if you're not into that, you can go into alternative methods of healing. It's important to find what works for you. These are just methods that have been proven to be effective. Okay, all the information in this video is based on my experience, but also research that I've made, especially from the Piercing Bible. Hopefully that video was helpful and you won't get an infection and your piercing won't be rejected by your body. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to hit me up. If this video was helpful to you, make sure to put a thumbs up. If you want to see more body modification videos, you can check out these two videos right here, and subscribe to my channel for weekly content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!